Good evening, and welcome to season two, episode three of the Powerpuff Babes podcast, where sugar meets spice and everything nice. We're your hosts, Kat, Ali, and Mo, and we hope you guys have had a great week so far. Um, Mo wasn't feeling that great this week, but we are back, and she is getting there. Hopefully, right, Mo?
Currently, I'm so tired. I'm sick and tired of being sick and tired.
Sick and tired of sick and tired. Oof, man. But what's been going on with you girls this week? I'm over here
I
stumbling
don't
over my
have
words.
much besides catching the Rona.
Rona's a pain in the ass.
Honestly,
I
same minus the Rona. I have
minus
Same
nothing
the
minus
going
the
on.
Rona.
Rona.
I just work.
Oh no. There has been a lot of talk. I don't know if you guys I've recently heard about it, but um have you guys heard the new Sam Smith song that's coming out? Like the little
No.
Yes,
teaser.
yes,
Oh,
yes, 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 yes.
when I tell you that I first heard it and I was like, holy shit.
I entered another dimension. I was astonished because I've never heard Sam Smith like produce music like that.
Mm-hmm.
So when I heard it, I was like, "Are you serious? Okay,
Yeah,
okay."
no, for sure. Ali, have you heard it?
I have not.
I'm gonna look it up and I'm gonna send it to you right
Yo, I
now.
got you. Hold on. I have it saved. I was just like, this is bomb.
A
And
fucking
like,
bop.
mind you, I love Sam Smith. I love all his music. His voice is just super amazing. Um, let me see. Let me get you that audio. And I will send that to you. Don't sing it right now.
Where did I have
There
it
you go.
saved? Where did it go?
I sent it to Ali so she can hear for
Okay.
herself. But man, that song is fucking. Oh, I know it's gonna be awesome. I know it is, and I know there's a female verse in that song. I didn't catch the name of that singer. Hold on, I should have
Oh, I
checked
didn't
that as
catch the
well.
name of the artist.
Excuse you. What do you mean not sent? Mm-mm. My phone acted up. Oh, there we go. Oh, but yeah, that song is, I know it's gonna be awesome. Like the whole thing is gonna be awesome. I know for sure it is. There's no way it's not.
I feel like he's never made a disappointing song, not
No,
gonna lie.
never, ever. Oh man, I love Sam Smith.
The man
If I
is the
had the
blueprint.
chance to go meet him in person or go to at least a concert, I don't care what seats, I'm going.
Do they go by they, them, or he, him?
They them.
They, them.
Mm-hmm.
They are the blueprint.
Truly.
Yeah. If I had a chance to go meet them, oh my gosh. I would literally die.
That would be the end of me.
Exactly.
I can't wait. I'm already having the verse repeating in my head right now.
Exactly. Like it's been stuck in my head all day. Oh man, I'm trying to think of what else I saw this week that I wanted to talk about today, but I can't seem to remember. What was it? Ah, I don't remember. I really need to start writing down things. I have a horrible like habit of forgetting a lot of things that I have to have ready and I don't. I recently discovered on my own that I've had a lot of shit to do and I forgot to do all of it.
Oh, love that.
So I finally put up a whiteboard behind me that was like last week, like last weekend, and I have yet to use it to this day. And I also need to go buy markers. I'm gonna write that down before I forget. Need to buy
Mm,
markers,
yeah,
or
I
at least
had
buy
I
a
had gotten like
marker
that a
set.
while back, and I got a whiteboard and stuff specifically for all that, for my calendar, for my list, for my chores, and I only have it for my calendar. And my other whiteboard was used a while back for uh, specific reasons, and now I don't have it anymore. So there goes my list and my chores.
Mm-hmm. I I just have a horrible like I don't know why. I can never keep up with things. I managed to keep up with things in high school, mind you. I towards the end of the school year was like, man, I really need to pick my shit up. Like I really need to put myself together. So what I ended up doing was I bought this little like agenda book to carry with me everywhere. And there I started writing down things that I needed to remember. Now my thing was that I would write them down and then I would forget to look back into that journal. So it was almost as if I bought it for no reason. But in the end, I would look back at some point in the week and I'm like, oh yeah, I have to do this, this, and this. And then they're all due like in the same day. So I have to like do it all as much like as quickly as possible, like homework and stuff that I had to buy for the house or whatever. And I'm just like, man, I really need to keep up with my shit because I'm gonna forget. Literally, what's that saying? I'd lose my head if it's not connected to my neck. Is that the saying? I can't remember if that's the saying. I heard it somewhere.
I'd, I'd lose my head if it wasn't screwed on.
To my neck? To my body?
No, just like screwed on, I
Oh,
think. I'm
I
pretty sure it's
guess.
just like I'd lose my head if it wasn't screwed on.
I swear
Isn't that
it's
a quote from
there's
Alice in Wonderland?
well, I don't know.
I have
You know what?
no clue
Yeah,
where it's
yeah, it
from.
is actually. No, I recently heard one from because I was watching my niece wanted to watch Zootopia. So, I think it was the fox that said, "Oh, like I swear I'd lose my head if it wasn't connected to my neck or something." Um, I think it's like the scene where he's buying like the jumbo pop, like the jumbo popsicle, and he's like pretending that he lost his wallet. But that's one of the things I remember. So that's one of the quotes.
Hmm.
I'm pretty sure that's
Yeah.
right. I want to look back into that. I'm gonna rewatch Zootopia and I'll let you know. But I can't remember exactly.
Hold on.
I'm looking it up. So, yeah, okay, so it is a phrase from Utopia where he forgot to bring his wallet, and then I saw a video clip from YouTube that it was also from Alice in Wonderland.
Ah, okay, cool. Interesting. I knew I heard it from somewhere. I just couldn't remember if it was first. I believe I heard it first in Alice in Wonderland though. It was I I lost the word that I'm looking for.
Mad Hatter.
Mad Hatter, there we go.
He's like the madman, the mad madman, the mad.
he wears he wears a hat. I don't. God damn it!
That's
You
me.
know, with the hair.
You know, with the hair and the makeup.
Just give like the worst details. Like, you know, the guy, the
The guy with the feet,
guy,
like with the little
the
feet
guy with the
stands.
feet.
He wears the funny clothes. He's got those legs, you know.
You know,
He has
God,
the
yeah.
weirdest eyes.
Oh my god.
Oh my god. No, I swear. I really need to set my like I really so that's one of the things that I need to buy first is I need to get a whiteboard like marker set so that I can keep in here and like I can constantly like have that next to me and start writing shit down on my board. Another thing I need to buy is a little mini fridge. A mini fridge for my room because
Mini fridge.
hmm
I feel like
mainly it's
I
going
feel
to
like
be
that's
with
the
like
goal for
wine.
everybody.
The what?
I said I feel like that's a goal for everybody
Oh
who
yeah, for
doesn't want a
sure.
mini fridge in their like little personal room. I
Exactly.
want a mini fridge in my little room.
Mine is just gonna
Same.
be stocked with wine though, so
I'm fucking dead. I mean, hey,
Exactly.
fuck it, why not?
yeah, exactly. I gotta have my wine, man.
I'll have them buzz balls in there, the one that Allie tried. And Allie was like,
Mm-mm. I gotta stay away from the chocolate one. I gotta stay away from. Wait, okay. I wanted to ask you that because I was literally thinking about that like not too long ago, and I was like, man, I can't remember if she said that she liked it or not. The pineapple, the pina colada, is that good or not?
Mhm. Yes.
Okay, it is. Okay. I was
yeah,
I
that's
was
the one she
confused.
tried.
Yeah, yeah, I remember she tried it, but I didn't remember if she said it was good or not. I couldn't remember if she was like, "Oh yeah, it's great," or "No, it sucks."
Yep, I liked it. And I don't like pineapple. Not fuck.
Coconut?
Coconut. Yeah.
Yeah, I'm
I
not a
was
big
like,
fan of
not the.
coconut, but pina coladas are actually really, really good.
I
They
love
really are.
coconut.
I don't know what it is. I can't do it.
There's this daiquiri place by my house, and all they sell obviously is daiquiris, but oh my god, this pina colada one, you can buy like a regular size cup, a like pretty big, like almost like a water sized cup. For people who don't understand Whataburger sizes, it's a lot bigger than a large. And you can get it in like a pint, like one of those like small little pints of milk cartons, and then you can get it in like a gallon.
Mm.
Mm-hmm. I could drink the whole fucking gallon if I wanted to. That shit was really good. I don't know
that
what it is.
that just reminded me. I don't know if I said the story. I'm pretty sure I did. I can't remember if I did or not. But have I ever told you girls the story of when well, I can't say I accidentally bought it because I didn't know at the time. Um but I bought daiquiris um at this ice cream shop that's like 5 minutes away from my house. Um,
Hmm.
and it was the reason why we were going there. When I say we, it was me and my sister, my little sister, and the reason why we were going there was because she wanted to get some of the rolling ice cream, like the rolls of ice cream, where they just kind of
Hmm.
scrape it and it becomes a little roll. So she wanted to get some of that, and so we had that was during COVID, like that was like peak of COVID, and we had gone over there and they were like, "Oh yeah, we actually don't have any ice cream to like be rolling. Like they haven't sent us our stuff in like weeks and blah blah blah." And I was just like, "Damn." Um and he goes, "But we do have these like drinks." And I was like, "Oh, what kind of drinks do you have?" And he was like, "Well, they're kind of like slushies." And I was like, "Ooh, okay, slushies, not bad, not bad." So he was like nice enough to let us try some, and I had tried the first one and I knew something was wrong with it. I was like, wait. He wouldn't tell us exactly what the drink was, and he would be like, he's like, yeah, like this one's like my favorite. You should definitely try this one. And so I tried it and it was like this bitter aftertaste. And I looked at my sister because she was trying the same things that I was. And I looked at my sister and I was like, She goes, yeah, it's bitter. But I ended up buying like two of them and they're like, it was so cute. I wish I had kept them. Um, but at the same time, like at that time, I was just like, I didn't want my mom to think that we are like I was making her drink alcohol. So I ended up finding out that they were actually made with alcohol because I called the shop back later as soon as I bought them. I had called them out on my way home and I was like, "Hey, just quick question. Do these have you literally sold me these drinks like maybe like 5-10 minutes ago. Um, do these have alcohol?" And he goes, "Yeah." And I was like,
Oh
"Yo,
God.
you didn't check for my ID?" And he was
It's
like,
like, is that not what you wanted?
yeah, he was
I don't
like,
understand.
he was like, yeah, it's got alcohol in it. It's like, I can't remember how like much percent he said, but he was like, yeah, it's got alcohol. And mind you, I should have noticed that, and I should have taken that to account because he was outside when we got there. He was outside drinking like a big ass glass of this shit, and he was
I'm
like
fucking
down to
dead.
like maybe less than like a third of that cup or a fourth of that cup. So he was probably like out of it. Um and he goes, "Yeah, they have alcohol, whatever, blah blah blah." I was like, "Dude." I was like, okay, all right, thanks, whatever." And I hung up on him. And my sister started freaking out. She was like, "This has alcohol. No." And like
Oh
she was like
no.
ready to cry. I was like, "Girl, calm down. We're not even home yet." Like we don't have mom staring at our face right now. So calm down. So then at the time my friend that went to school with me, like she lived nearby. And her mom was like big on alcohol, like she liked the alcohol and whatnot. She wasn't a big drinker, but like she would drink if you would ask her to go out to drink.
Mhm.
So I called her, like my friend, and I was like, "Hey, is your mom home?" Like she was like, "Yeah, why? What's up?" I was like, "Yo, listen, I bought some drinks from this ice cream shop, like that's like right here next to our house. Um, but turns out that they have alcohol and I didn't know." And she goes, "Oh shit." And I was like, "Yeah, I don't want to take him home because I'm going to get my ass beat." And so she was like, "Oh, okay, yeah, like did you want me to ask my mom if she wants them?" And I was like, "You don't have to ask her. I already know she wants them. But go ahead." And so then she asked her mom and she was like, "Oh, hell yeah." Like I could hear her in the background. Like she was like, "Hey mom, so like Kat bought these drinks, but turns out they have alcohol in them and they didn't check her ID, and she wanted to know if you wanted them." And she goes, "Hell yeah." And I was like, "Oh shit." I was like,
Alcohol? Fuck
"Okay."
yes.
He's over there dancing to the front door, just like, hell the fuck yeah.
She's doing the little shuffle, like, yes.
Yeah.
So then, uh, I was like, I had parked my car in front of her house, and she immediately came out, like, running, and I gave her the little pouches, because they're little pouches. They're not like bottles. They're not like cups. They're pouches that they give it into. And so I gave her the pouches and I gave her the straws and I was like, "Enjoy." And she goes, "Thanks." And like her mom is like outside, like she comes out barely and she's like waving, like whenever you're like trying to catch somebody's attention and you're like waving like super, like a
Yeah.
super big wave. Yeah, that's exactly what she did.
I'm fucking dead.
She had like a big old smile. She was waving and so
Made her
then
whole week.
yeah, exactly.
That's exactly what she needed all week.
Exactly.
Mhm.
She was like, "I'm tired of being a mom." Thank you.
He said, I
But
need 2 seconds. I need 2 seconds.
uh-huh.
That's it.
So then I had dropped them off and then I drove like past four houses and got to my house. And um we went in and I was just like I immediately grabbed her and I was like, "Don't say anything." "Don't you dare say anything." Um in the end, I think I should like I could still tell my mom and she would be like, "Ha ha ha." But I had told my mom, I was like, "Oh yeah, no, they were closed." So
They were close.
they were closed. We went over there for nothing. She goes, "See, I told y'all." And I was like, "Whatever." Because she had told us to
Oh,
call first, and I was like, "Nah, I want to get out of the house."
I'm fucking dead.
So
I
yeah.
don't think I'm at that point yet to where I can tell my mom all the shenanigans that I was up to. Like telling her like, "Oh yeah, like I'm gonna go to a friend's house," and I went like an hour away from home to like go see the cemetery and shit.
Oh
Or
my
I would
god.
be like, "Oh, I'm gonna spend the night at my friend's house," and then we're like, I don't know, we'd go off somewhere
Mm.
too far. Probably we were literally like, I went like walking around these like supposedly haunted woods, which I realized was like one of the dumbest things I could have done. Not only was there like a shit ton of spiders, but like there was a lot of like camping gear and shit around, and I was like, this
Mm-mm.
seems pretty bad. And then for some weird reason, all of our Google Maps was telling us the wrong, all the wrong directions to get to the
Oh,
car. It was very strange.
it was the
Like, I
spirits.
know for a fact that we all put in this exact same location, and for some reason, by the time we wanted to go walk back, everybody was like everywhere.
Yeah, that was the cemetery telling you, no, you're not leaving.
No, that was like a random forest. It was supposed to
Oh,
be
really?
like a haunted from the Civil War. Yeah,
What? Yo,
yeah. It
that's
was awful.
crazy.
I'm never going back.
That's crazy. No, yeah, I definitely wouldn't either. I would go the one time and that's it. Like I just want
You
to
should have learned.
I just want the experience.
Uh-huh. I shouldn't have listened. I would have stayed in the car, but I probably would have like got murdered or something in the car.
Yeah, no.
Just sitting there by myself. So I was like, no, I have to go with the group.
Mhm.
Gotta stick together, the buddy buddy system.
Yeah. Even it and you know what's funny is just even if it was by myself, I would be too terrified. I actually saw a TikTok Thursday. It was either Thursday or Friday or yeah, it was either Thursday or yesterday. But I had saw a TikTok and there was this dude sitting in a like a big old empty office. It was dark. Like the light that's in his area was the only one that was lit. And there's a door with a light on at the end of like at the end of that same office area. And I guess he saw that the lights were flickering, so he got up to go walk into the like to see what it was. Um so the lights were flickering. He went in to check and nothing was in there, right? So then he goes, okay, and then like turns off the lights. He walks out, leaves the door wide open, like it's against the wall. And next thing you know, he's walking out. You can see the door just kind of like closing, right? And at the end, it just slams closed. And then he turns around real fucking fast and he's like, oh shit. And then turns back around to look around him. And this chair that's next to him, immediately, like, fucking moves to him. Like, it just sprints to his direction. He fucking got scared, did the fucking shuffle and left. He was just like, fuck that shit. He
Did the
dipped
whole
out.
shuffle.
Yeah, he did a whole shuffle with his legs, man. He was like 1, 2, and then fucking dipped.
Like the Scooby Doo run where they run in place and it goes.
Yeah, exactly. He's like, fuck, and then like he fucking dipped. But the thing is, like at the end of the video, you can see that that door opens and you can see that it's flickering, like the lights are flickering again. And when it opens in the reflection, you see this black figure like standing in one of the corners of the room. And it's fucking scary. I was like, oh hell no, I wouldn't be in that area at all. I wouldn't be, why would you go to work that late at night? Why? That would never
I
be
don't know.
me. That would never be me. Ridiculous. I was
I
like, bro.
I am on the fence of supernatural stuff, but like I don't want to dismiss ghosts
Oh
because
no.
that there's no way that they aren't real. You know what I mean?
No, yeah, for sure.
They have to. There has to be something because shit like that. Oof. Ooh, I hate thinking
Mm-mm.
about that shit too.
Yeah, no. Um my nephew, like I was taking care of the kids one day and my nephew, like I was helping him with his homework and my nephew just immediately grabbed his leg and he was like, what the hell? And like he looked around because he said he felt like his leg was being pulled. Like like somebody started grabbing it and like started pulling it. And he looked at me, he goes, like he's like, oh my god. And I was just like, what happened? And he goes, yeah, somebody just tried pulling my leg. And like he when he gets nervous, he has this little giggle that he does. So he did that, right? He started giggling and I was like, okay, yeah, he's nervous, I know that, I can see that. So he whatever he felt was real. And I look at him and I was like, yo, what the hell? And so then he was like, yeah, he started like rubbing his leg, and he's like, I can't get that feeling off. Like it feels like somebody was touching my leg, like somebody was pulling my leg, and I was like, hmm. And the reason why I didn't want to scare him even more, or like to tell him like, like ignore it or something, was because um in that same area where he was sitting, I was sitting there one day like way back when, um and I felt like somebody had put their hand on my shoulder, and I was just like, yo, and like that was during the time that my grandpa had passed away. So the reason why I hadn't told him like, ignore it or anything was because I was like, it's got to be grandpa. Like I told him, like immediately told him to calm him down. I was like, it has to be grandpa. And he goes, you think? And I was like, well, I mean, has he, like, we have a belief to where if you haven't had a dream of somebody who's passed away, they haven't came to say goodbye to you. So if they couldn't make it to the dream, like I guess the time frame that you could say, because there is a time frame in our belief, there's a time frame of like a certain number of days that the dead would visit you in a dream to tell you goodbye. So I had asked him like, have you had a dream of grandpa yet? And he goes, or like, have you had a dream of grandpa like within that time frame? And he goes, no. And I was like, that was his way of telling you goodbye, probably. So, um, like that's just how we believe in it. And so then he was like, yeah, that makes sense, because like he grew up in the same beliefs. Um, and the reason why I had told him that that was probably him was because my sister had the same, or I can't say the same like experience, but my sister had experienced, um she was at school, and it was like maybe like 2 to 3 weeks after my uncle had passed away, that she had seen him like standing at a doorway in like the gym, like, oh, so it's like, it's really weird. So the gym to her school is not connected to the school. It's a whole other building itself. And when she walked in, she went to sit down by the bleachers at the end of that building, and then the other end, like if you were to look, like turn around and look back, you can see that the door is over there. So she said that she had seen him standing there, just like looking at him, or looking at her, I'm sorry, looking at her, and she noticed him just kind of like do a quick wave, and then he just faded away. um and she was like, she had came home, and I noticed that she was a little like jumpy. So I had asked her what was wrong, and she told me what happened. And I was like, did you tell dad yet? Because my uncle that passed away is my dad's brother. And I had
Mhm.
told her, I was like, did you talk to my dad? Like, did you tell him anything? And she goes, no. And I was like, you need to tell him, because he hasn't had a dream of his own brother, and he's just waiting for something to happen. So if you tell him, maybe he'll like, he won't be desperate to look for things to like, so that way he can calm down, and that way like it'll come to him unexpectedly. So then she was like,
Mhm.
you're right, I should go talk to him. So um he came home, and I had gone to go get my sister, and I was like, hey, you need to tell him. So she started taking, like, she was like, hey, like, I wanted to tell you something, and I needed you to sit down. And so then he sat down, and she was like, I saw my uncle today, like he visited me at school. He just did a quick wave and like faded away. And so he, as soon as he heard that, he felt like a weight off his shoulders, I guess you could say. And you can like, he started to like cry, because he was just like, I'm just waiting for something to like, for him to show me something, or maybe there's still a chance that he can come into my dream and tell me goodbye, because I haven't seen him, I haven't talked to him. So he felt very saddened by that. And then next thing you know, the next day, literally the next day, he said that he saw him at work. and he had like looked at him from a like from the doorway, cuz like his like the door from his office is it's like completely, it's like a god, it's like a steel door, I guess you could say. And there's like a little window at the top of that door to where people can like look in and like so that way they can show their face, right? So he saw my uncle's face at that window. And in my in my opinion, I would have freaked out. I would have been like, "Oh my god," like cuz like I'm not used to seeing people's faces on little windows like that. So
Mhm.
I'm just surprised my dad was like not freaking the fuck out, but he realized that it was his brother, so he was just like, "Oh, like thank you for finally coming to me. Like thank you for finally showing me something." And he felt relief at that, like at the fact that he got his visit. Because that's like a big thing for especially for us as Salvadorians, that's like a big thing. If you don't get a dream within like I think it's like within like the week or like 2 weeks of somebody's death, then the reason why either the either they don't get to that time frame because they have so many people to say goodbye to, or they choose to not use the dream way or the dream path and they go for the physical path to where they can
Mhm.
show themselves to you, or they like physically touch you or something to let you know that they're there. So that is our
Mhm.
belief. I don't know, like obviously I'm not going to know a lot of other people's beliefs, but that is how we see it. And that is how we were raised, I guess you could say. Um my grandpa missed a chance to meet my little brother, his grandson. And he was super excited when he got the news, when my mom had broke the news that she was pregnant. He was super excited to finally get to meet him and whatnot. But he ended up passing away 6 days before he was born. 6 days? No, hold on. He passed away on the 24th. No, yeah, 6 days. Um, so he missed out on the birth, but apparently, according to my mom, and um, well, yeah, it was just my mom in there. So, according to my mom, he actually came by to visit and like finally meet him, cuz my little brother had like, when they're born and they put the same baby, or the way they put the baby with the mother in the same room, so they have like the little crib at the end of the bed, at the foot of the bed.
Yeah.
Yeah, so he was laying in there and he like started reaching out for something in the air like above him, and my mom noticed that, and she noticed that he started talking, like doing the little baby sounds, and she immediately felt like this like calming presence in the room. Like she felt the same presence that she would have felt with my grandpa if he was still alive. So she knew it was him immediately. She was like, "Oh, you came to see your grandson." And uh she had like this big smile on her face. And she was like "Thank you. Thank you for coming to see your grandson. Thank you for, meeting your grandson. Thank you for showing me this in person because I wouldn't have been able to um she said that she wasn't going to be able to, like, I guess, live without thinking of the fact that he didn't get to meet his grandson. So
Mhm.
yeah. It's just a really big belief, especially in the spirit world, or in the paranormal area. It's just a really big belief for the Salvadorians that that's how the spirit world works.
That's how I believe it. Mainly because when I was young and my grandpa died, he came to visit me. And my grandma, I don't think I really had a dream about my grandma, but I'm pretty sure she did a gesture. I just can't think of it right now. I was probably too little to remember.
Mm. I have
But
not experienced like dreams with people who've passed away, But well, no, that's a lie, because I did have a dream of my uncle, my dad's brother, who passed away. Um, I was going to say, other than the fact that I had a dream of my mom's brother, my mom's youngest brother. He was actually um he was actually trying to cross the border to the US. My mother had told him multiple times not to, because she felt like it wasn't the right time. And she kept telling him it's not the right time, it's not the right time. But he did it because he wanted to surprise my mom. And so he did it with good intentions. And he started, like, last we heard was that he was crossing the border. And it's been days and nothing has been heard from him. Like, my grandma finally had contacted um our family pastor at the time. um and she had told him, hey, like, it's been a few days, we haven't heard from him, we're sending people to go look for him. So they ended up looking for him, and they found they no, they didn't find him. They didn't find him, but somebody in the same group that was with the group that he was with, um they had told the family pastor, because they knew him, that he had gotten lost, right? And that they haven't seen him, and that they tried looking around their area where they last saw him, but they couldn't find him. So um I remember I remember my family pastor had came over to break the news to my mom. And I remember, man, it was so long ago. I remember that she was crying. I remember her cries, and it hurt me a lot to hear her cry that way. Um she was like, you know how I am with Junior. I'm like the second mom to him. She was like that with him.
Hmm. I've heard
And
a mother's cries,
oh
man.
yeah.
That's the most heartbreaking thing I'll ever hear in my life.
No, yeah. Oh man, when I heard that cry, I was just, I was in awe, because that was just a painful cry. Man, I remember that day, like, it was it was weird, because I remember some things, and then there are other, like, spots on that day that I don't remember. So, like the morning of that day, I don't remember, because they came in the afternoon. I don't remember anything I did, but that specific moment of when they had taken me into another room and they told her, that's what I remember. All of that was perfectly clear, but like the morning of, the night of, I have no idea what happened. I don't remember. Um but I remember that the next couple of days had passed. It was like maybe 2, 3 days. And I had a dream that somebody was knocking on our door. I was okay. Cause and I remember this so specifically, because it was something that I used to do with my dad all the time, is that we would play on his PlayStation 2. We still have that PlayStation 2. I still have it, because obviously it's going to be a big memory. It's a big part of my life. So
Mm.
we have that, like, we played this, he had this airplane game, but you were able to shoot, like, it was like a, like, Call of Duty, but you were able to shoot from these airplanes. So we had that game and we were playing it, and I just remember I heard a knock on the door, and my dad goes, go see who it is, right? So I get up, I walk over, and I open the door, and I remember that it was just so bright that I couldn't see this person's face. But I remember he was wearing like Nike shorts. It was like a gray silver color of Nike shorts. I remember he was wearing a black shirt, um with this, like, it was some sort of mark on on the left side, no, the right side. But it was like a black shirt with this white, like, mark on the side. And he was wearing like old shoes, like old worn out shoes. And I remember he goes, "Oh hey," like in Spanish. He was like, "Oh hey, you must be Gabi," because that's what they called me. Um, and I look up and I'm like, "Yeah, like that's me." And then my dad like walked over, and he goes, "You made it. Like you're here. You've made it." And he looked at like the the guy that was standing at the door was like, "Hey, do me a favor, look out for your mom for me." Sorry, I'm trying to.
Oh, it's okay.
He goes, "Take care of her for me." Sorry. I haven't told that story in like a long time.
No,
So I'm not
yeah, you
used
just
to.
reminding me of my
Yeah.
grandpa's too.
Sorry. I'm like I'm not used to saying those words because I haven't even told my mom yet, and it hurts me for me not to tell her because I feel like, oh, as a matter of fact, I did tell her, but I didn't tell her exactly what he said. Um,
Mm.
I was only a kid back then, so I didn't know how to say it. And so I was like, I looked at him so confused, and I was like, "Who are you?" And he goes, "You'll know soon enough." And I'm like, "Okay." So then he like faded away in front of me. And I was like, "Damn, like I remember that day so specifically." And I remember the next morning I had told my mom, I was like, "Hey, like I was only a kid, so I didn't know how to say things. Like I was a child, I was barely learning how to speak." But um I had told her, I was like, "Mom, I had a dream of Uncle Wilmer, because that's what his name is Wilmer." And she looks at me, and she goes, are you sure?" And I was like, "Yeah, I think so, because I think so, because I couldn't see his face, but he was in like I remember I told her he was in my brain. He was in my brain. And she looked at me so confused, and she was like, "He was in your brain?" And then I go, "Yeah." And so then she said, "Huh?" And then like she never brought it up again. I didn't realize that that could have meant that he passed away, and we were not going to be able to find him. To this day, we have not found his body. We have not found any sort of like remains or anything. So, um, I mean, obviously, we're still trying to keep hope that maybe one day some sort of truth will like come out, right? Um, a lot of people had told my grandma, and these are people that she supposedly she trusts. Um, but there was this one lady who had told her, she was like, "Don't stop looking for your son." She kept telling her, "Don't stop looking because you're going to find him." And she goes, "What are you talking about?" And she goes, "Have you looked in Guatemala?" And that's where, and it's weird because my older sister, and my older brother used to live there before that we were able to move them here, right? And so she was like, "Don't forget to look in Guatemala." And she specifically said the city of where my sister and my brother lived in. Um, she was like, "Don't forget to look there. Spread your search if you can." And so then my mom like had my sister like post stuff about him in different Facebook groups, and like, who were part of the Facebook group of the city. Um and immediately people were like, "Oh, does he have like could he have a beard now?" Like, they were asking for different descriptions. And I mean, at the time, and like I never ever ever trust in like internet that way, because there
Mhm.
are people who, and I hate to say that, there are people who do it for the money. They tell you that they've seen these people, and they they know who they are and whatnot, but they're only looking for rewards.
Yeah.
Um, and that's sad because it's like you're wasting these people's precious time trying to look for this one person or these people, and for you to do something like that is horrible. And I don't know, my mom had this whole thing going on where she was like, "Oh man, we can find him. Like, if he's truly alive, he's truly alive somewhere, right?" And I remember during that, we had came back to the United States because we were during that we were in El Salvador. We were visiting my grandparents, and when we came back, I had told my dad. I just felt this like weird thing, so I started talking to my dad, and I had told him about the dream, and he goes, "Did you tell your mom?" And I said, I was like, "Yeah, I did tell her like the next morning because I mean, it happened when I was a kid." And he goes, "Did you tell her exactly what he said?" And I was like, "No, I didn't tell her that." And he was like, "You need to tell her sometime soon because she's she may not take it the way that I'm taking it right now, but
Mm.
she's going to have to come to the terms that he might actually be dead." Because the way that he said those things was it was him saying goodbye. So I had told him that I was going to tell her. To this day I haven't told her because I know that if I mention it, I have a fear that if I mention it, she's going to have that mother cry again.
Mm. Oh, man, after so long, it might bring a kind of comfort. You know, it's like I believe my grandpa told me to watch out for my mom when I was younger, and to this day, I remember specifically, I had the thought and the what he said going through my head every day when I was a little kid, to where those were the words that I used to live by. Was like, I have to make sure my mom's okay. I don't know why he told me that, but he told me that. And I was so little. I'm literally the youngest kid in my family. Besides, like, now my smaller cousins were like in high school now. But
Right.
at the time, I was like, how old was I? I was probably like 6. And I was so confused. I was like, I think I'm the wrong person for you to be telling that to.
Right.
But I don't know, in my little like 6-year-old mind, I kind of just like decided to set my foot down and be like, I have to do everything possible to make sure that my mom isn't so stressed out, that she's like okay, that she will be okay. Like, I don't know how best to explain it other than that. But my little 6-year-old brain, I was like, I have to make sure I don't cause her any problems. So I've got literally like every day of my life, that's all I would think about. Or not all I would think about. It would sit in the back of my head,
Yeah.
especially when I was a kid. But I think at this point, if I were to tell her, like, I had that dream, and I'm pretty sure that's what they told me, I think it would bring a sense of comfort at this point. Because
Yeah.
it's been so long that you want, I think you would want, or they would want to know that no matter what, that they're still looking out for them, you know?
Yeah. You're right.
So
It's to the
after,
point. It's like I should see it through. She's gone this long without knowing, and she's managed to push through. So it's like it'll be comforting for her to know that she finally has like a certain answer, I guess you could say.
yeah. And that no matter what, he has her back. Let's take care of her. Like, no
Yeah,
matter what, I want to make sure that, you know, everybody's got my big sister's back.
right.
It might hurt for a second, yeah, but I think it would end up bringing a sense of comfort. At
Yeah.
least it's
I'm
my
like
opinion.
I'm like thinking of a way to bring it up and like I really want to say, "Hey, do you remember what I said that I saw my uncle in my brain?"
I think that's a
Like
good
that's the
icebreaker.
yeah, just bring up the fact that I said I saw him in my brain. I was a kid. I didn't know how to say dream. Um I think I was only in like kindergarten, first grade, but I don't know what took over me to say, "Oh yeah, I saw him in my brain." Like,
my my mom uncle's in my brain.
uh-huh.
Uh, do you,
Like
uh, so you're thinking about him. Wow, that's wonderful.
yeah, like oh man. I was barely learning Spanish too, so it kind of came out weird. I remember that. It came out like the word did not stick. It's when you say brain, you're saying cerebro.
Uh-huh.
But I guess I wasn't pronouncing my R's. So it's like cerebro, like cerebro.
She
Like,
was like, "What the
what
heck
the
is she
hell is
saying?"
that? Yeah, like you saw him where? Like, what is that?
He did what?
Oh man. Oh my gosh. I didn't mean to make it emotional, but it's a story I'm not really used to talking about. I rarely get to say those words. When I'm speaking about that. Um, hold on. But oh man, it's just if I think I've only said that story like once or twice. After the whole fact. Um, I think once was when I was in high school and I was talking to no, it was middle school and I was talking to a school counselor and uh what did she bring up? She was bringing up some sort of like fuck, I can't remember. I don't know what she had started a conversation and it led to me telling that story. The next time I was talking about it was through a teacher because they were talking like it was a weird class. It was a class of what what would you do in different situations? And there was a video shown and it reminded me of my uncle because it was a dude like crossing the border and like US patrol or the ICE or something like was catching up to him and some kid had made fun of the dude and I was like, yo, that's not fucking cool. And the teacher pulled me aside, was like, you can't just like what's wrong? Like why are you like saying all this stuff? And I was like, well, first of all, like that kid, come on. But then I realized like maybe if I explained her the situation of like why I said like why I stood up, I guess you could say, then she was like, yeah, you're right, like they really shouldn't be saying, oh, I'm like, okay, cool, why would you pull me aside though?
Right.
I'm the right one. What the fuck?
What the fuck, like I'm right in this situation. I'm over here telling her like, why would you pull me aside with like snot coming out of my nose and like oh man, I'm a very emotional person, but if it gets to the point where I'm like I can't be emotional, I will literally like not cry. Um, but I'm a very I'm a very emotional person when it comes to like personal stories or personal stuff that affects me or affects my family. I promise you I don't cry a lot. So this is like one of the rare like if I'm going through shit, yes, I'm going to cry, but if it's like me having conversations with somebody like it's literally just like it's just me talking. Like it's just me like this, right? But if I'm having a conversation where it involves a personal story of mine and that I haven't talked about in like a long time, or I'm not used to talking about it, it's um it brings up memories, and it's just like like it touches me, and like it literally stabs me through the heart, and it hurts to talk about. But I also realize that I have to talk about it in order for me to push through these feelings and like get through that and not have to feel that pain as much as I do right now. Does that make sense? Did I just confuse people? I don't know. I can't
No, it
remember.
made sense. It made sense. I'm the type of person that, like, well, at this point, given how I've grown up, when I talk about something really sad or like depressing, I'll try and like laugh at myself just because, like, I need to kind of like make a joke and make myself laugh because otherwise, like, I will, I don't know, I've had depression more than half of my life. And at this
Yeah.
point, like, falling deep back into it is one of my biggest fears. So when I get really sad and I get really like scared or anxious to fall back into it, so I'll like try to like make light of what I'm talking about, and it feels awkward at the same time because I'm like, "Ugh, it's like the worst joke ever," but I can't like push myself. I can't let myself fall back the
Right.
way I used to be. So well, if I talk about something really sad, I'll like try to make it a little joke, or I just can't cry, but I'll have this deep, deep like hole in my chest. It feels like, but oh man, I can't argue without crying.
Yeah. Sorry. I it's just I completely agree with you on that. Like you know, I do the same thing. I when I try to get emotional, I try to make a little joke, or I try to make myself laugh, and that's why I brought up the fact that I said like I saw him in my brain, because it's true. It did happen. I said it the way that I said it, and it's just a really funny fact for me in that story is that I said it that way, and I remember that specifically. Um, so I I've dealt with depression, and what I do is I'm the person who hides it. So I'm suffering inside, but outside you're just like you see me like ah, like I'm cheery, I'm trying to cheer other people up. But I'm the one who's like hurting inside really bad. So it's just like, and like now I have my little sister and my little brother. So I and mind you, now I have the kids, like my niece and my nephew. So I'm just like I can't be falling back into that. Like I have to push myself forward. I have to push myself away from depression, even though it's definitely hard because
Yeah, it has to be one of the
it
hardest things I feel like
it's
I've ever
oh
faced.
man, it's fucking
Trying to
horrible.
drag yourself out of it for years and then trying to like I guess build a like your safety net so you don't fall back into something so like dark and like horrible cuz I used to be so horrible to myself. Like would every day I would berate myself. I would hurt myself like just the way I used to talk to myself in my head. And sometimes like I'll catch myself saying some stuff to myself in my head. And then I'll tell myself like I need to stop that. And it
Yeah.
took a long time for me, and then one day I woke up and I was like I can't do this anymore. I can't deal with this voice constantly anymore. I need to do something. So it was a long battle to like switch it up, to just be like, you know what, I'm not going to listen to it anymore because it's really hard to ignore it if when that's all you hear is yourself in your head. So that's one of the hardest things I think I've ever had to do was to try and snap myself kind of out of it. I mean, I still deal with it every day, but it's not. I've built this safety net around me to where if I felt like I'm falling back into it, I know how to like get back out of it.
Right.
Yeah, I don't know how to best to describe it than that.
Yeah, no, that's definitely how I would have said it too. Like and for those of you, for those who, you know, have to go through depression or go through depression, excuse me. Just know that yes, it is a long road ahead of you, but I promise you at the end of it, it'll be worth it.
Oh yeah, it's
It's a
rewarding. Oh my
very
god, it's rewarding.
oh man, like it's fucking
I would have
I
missed
was
out on so much. I would have missed out on some beautiful nieces of mine. I would have missed out on watching my little cousins grow. I would have missed out on watching my brother grow. Like seeing the people who grow around me and being able to be in their lives is kind of like one of the things I'm so grateful for. Had I, the fact that I chose to keep going.
yeah.
And then I got my two best friends I never would have met.
No, yeah, I was about to say when I first met Allie because I met Allie first. I was I was just coming out of like some serious shit. Like um so I was very depressed before I met Allie. And excuse me, I'm like trying to breathe.
Where the
um
snot bubbles.
yeah, I'm like I'm over here cuz like my nose is all stuffed and I can't breathe in.
Uh, when you cry like that kind of cry that it like
Yeah,
clogs up
dude.
your nose, like yeah,
Yeah, I'm like over here like trying to fucking smell shit. Like
you're just like
yeah.
Do
Um
the little kid cry where they go,
yeah. um
they breathe in and out. Like you could see like their chest like whole like moves so much because like the amount of air they bring into their chest. They go
yeah. Yeah. Oh no. But I was going through some serious shit before I met Allie. And I had gone through the most stupidest shit ever. I believe I talked about this before. It was I was in a relationship. And I never realized how much of a dickhole he was. Um
no.
he was very much a big jerk. I never realized I only because I was very manipulated. I was manipulated at the time by the way that he would say things or he would try to apologize and I pulled me back in and whatnot. He gotten to a point where he would become suicidal if I even had the thought of leaving him. So I it was just it got to a point where I had enough. I had enough and he um again tried to like say like oh I'm gonna go kill myself and blah 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 and I was at that point I was just done. I needed to get out of this because it made me realize how much pain I was going through. It made me realize how much I missed out on my own life of like having more friends, of having fun like outdoor things, like outdoor events with my family that I was just stuck in my room all day. Um, so I ended up leaving him and I had told him, you know what, I'm done. I can't do this anymore. Um, do whatever, like, I had told him in Spanish, like, haz lo que te pegue la gana, like, do whatever the fuck you want at this point. Um, so I left him and I don't think he killed himself. Um, because
Yeah,
the
I had
last
a
I heard he
friend.
was oh sorry, go ahead.
I was gonna say I had a friend who was in the exact same situation as you, and he kept saying, that he would kill himself because she was trying to leave him. He's doing great to this day. He has a kid with this other girl, and he
Oh,
gave
love that.
their daughter the same name that the friend I had at the time and him were planning. And she
That
was,
fuck.
mhm. She saw the
That's so
announcement on Facebook, and she goes, "That's the
Hey
name we were
yo.
gonna use." And I was
Yeah.
like,
Oh
"Oh,
hell
talk about
nah.
an unoriginal bitch. What the fuck?
uh-huh."
Fucking-
Jeez. He's like, so babe, what do you think? And he was like, the hoes gonna love this.
Uh,
Oh my god.
This one.
Dude, that's
This one
fucked
right
up.
here. I picked this one.
That's
And she
fucked
was
up.
like, oh my god, yes. Or
what made you think of it?
he probably did some really stupid, fucked up, like, I've always wanted a daughter and I've always
Yeah,
wanted to name
that's
her.
probably the same shit he pulled. Yep.
And she was
More
like,
than
oh baby,
likely.
of course, we can always name her that. And he was just in the back of
More
his
than
head like,
likely. What's crazy is though is that she had a pregnancy scare probably like a year or two, probably I think like 2 years before that, and he was like on her like, no, get rid of it and whatever. Like you absolutely cannot, like just downright like threatening her kind of. And I was like, oh my god, that's awful. What the fuck? But apparently he was a-okay with his other girl being like, of course,
Mm-mm.
let's have a baby. Duh. What?
Mm-mm. No.
absolutely not.
Oh man.
Yeah,
No,
but he's great.
I have no idea what's up with him. Last I heard last I heard he actually went to jail.
Ew.
I
Maybe
believe I
he's
actually
thriving
told
in jail.
no, I believe I told Allie that, or maybe I haven't, or maybe I did. Last I heard he actually had gotten physical with another girl,
Yikes.
and I think her parents had found out, and so then they eventually like charged him and whatnot. So last I heard that's what happened. I can't think, I'm like trying to think if there was like more recent stuff, but I can't think of a more recent thing that I've heard about him specifically. And honestly I could care less because there's a reason why I left him. I'm not going back to that. um so fuck you. If you ever hear this, and if you know who this is, fuck you. um but other than that, I was just, it just, all of that realization hit me at the end, and it's just like, it really put me in a really deep, like deep, dark hole, um, that I could not see an end of crawling out of. So what I did was, I got to a point where I was like, I was done with that. I was done being depressed. I was done being in my room all the time. I was done pushing my parents away. So I started like taking baby steps. And when I tell you that it is a long, long, difficult road to go through, I promise you, it is very rewarding at the end. Because without me taking those first baby steps, I wouldn't be to where I am today. I wouldn't be with this podcast. I wouldn't be with these two amazing girls that I've met in my life. I wouldn't be with my older sister and my niece and my nephew and my older brother. I wouldn't be with my little brother here. So, fight back the tears. I,
It's okay.
yeah,
It's okay.
I
Ugh.
wouldn't be here because
Sorry.
of those first baby
It's
steps.
okay.
She's over here like, it's okay. She's
Great.
like,
Sorry. It's the Rona.
it's
It
the
made me sound cackly. Sounded disgusting for a second. I apologize.
It's okay.
You know what that reminded me of? And I don't know why. The old lady, the old witch from Snow White. The old one.
Oh,
Oh my god.
Just your voice.
You want the apple?
Yeah, I don't know
No.
why. I just saw that when you said that's okay, it's okay. But without taking those first baby steps, and I encourage as much as I can, take those baby steps because it'll be the most rewarding thing in the end. You'll see for yourself. You may fall back sometime in that journey, but you have to push through. You cannot let it push you back. You cannot let it make you fall. You know what that's saying, when you fall, get back up, right? Dust yourself off, keep going. You need to keep going because I promise you, in the end, it'll be all worth it. I promise you. Um, but I wanted to end on that good note. I wanted to basically just give you some encouraging words because I know how difficult that long road can be. Um, and I've gone through that myself, and Mo has gone through it herself. A lot of people have gone through it. So we know how you feel. We know how it is. But I promise you, you just have to keep fighting.
It's such an invisible fight. It's such an
Oh
invisible
man,
illness.
it's fucking
It's
horrible.
you don't know who's going through it, so it's kind of hard to be able to like relate to other people, like to put yourself out there and to be like, oh, I wonder who else. Like it could be like the entire crowd around you. It could be your mom, it could be your dad, it could be literally anybody, but you wouldn't notice because it's so invisible.
Mhm.
It's it's silent, it's scary, it's deadly, but it's also the only person who can really fight it is yourself. You can have the support of your friends and everybody around you, but the only person who can really like kind of take the shackles off yourself is you. I don't know how best to put it than that. It's in the end it's kind of like a weight lifted. You it's empowering, it's freeing, it's a long road, but it's rewarding.
Mhm. Yep. But with that being said, like I said, I wanted to end it on a good note. Um, I wanted to thank each and every one of you for such an amazing amount of support and love that we've gotten through all of our channels here on Twitch, on Spotify, and YouTube. We truly appreciate all of that. And it's just a big thank you. Like, it's just, we've had so much fun doing this podcast. I can't stress this, and I can literally say this all of the time. I've said this most of my episodes. Thank you, because we've enjoyed doing this podcast. We didn't mean for it to get so emotional, but it is something that we want to talk about as well, because here on this podcast we want to be as truthful and as honest as we can be. We want to be able to relate to a lot of people, and we want you to relate to our experiences because we want you to know you are not alone. You are not by yourself out there in this world. Like, this world is getting crazy. Crazy, crazy, crazy. I don't care if, whatever you're going through. Like, I really don't care of your ethnicity, your race,
Listen,
your pronouns. You are loved, you are cared for, and you are important. Even though you may think you're not, and people around you may tell you you're not important, I promise you, you are important to anybody in this world. You are somebody's special someone. So please, please, please keep fighting for whatever you believe in. Keep fighting for your life, because your life is the most rewarding thing you could ever have. And I can't stress this enough. We love you. Please, please, please take care of yourselves out there. This world is getting crazier and crazier by the minute. There's so many things that really should be changed, but you know, it's just how, I hate to say this, but it's just how the world is right now. But like I said, I hope you guys are having, or I hope you guys have a great evening. I hope you guys have a great rest of your week. Um, I'm truly thankful. So thank you guys for staying, for letting us be a part of your life, be a part of your day at least. um Not your day, your evening. Hello. um
Good
and
morning.
good morning. Good morning. Good morning, good evening, good afternoon, wherever your time zone is. Um because time zones are our specialty. Okay. Anyways, I'm sorry. Have a great rest of your week, everybody. Thank you again. Thank you for the support and the love, and we hope you guys have a great rest. Oh my God, I'm saying this like over and over again. I
You
catch
know
you guys.
how we very much like doing this podcast to where we have no, well, the past probably like 2 episodes, like this one and the last one, we've started we started airing, or right before we would start airing, we'd be like, okay, so what are we talking about? We
Yeah,
had
it's like
no we had no game plan. We had no game plan whatsoever getting into this. And here we are crying. Clumsy's got her cat's got snot coming down her nose and
it's
she
not
can't
coming down.
breathe.
I'm breathing. I'm breathing now.
I sound like a cackling witch.
You know what? These episodes are chaotic. You never know what happens. We're
No,
unexpected.
but
No, that's not the word I'm looking for.
what I'm trying to say is that we come into this pretty much blind. But we love talking to each other. It's so comfortable for us talking to each other that we want you guys to be comfortable with our conversations to kind of like join and stuff.
Yeah. We're trying to make
I'm sorry.
these as relatable as possible, but we realize that everything we do is relatable, so it doesn't matter what we come up with to talk about.
We realize that we're basic bitches.
Oh man.
We
But
want people to laugh with us, damn it. Okay. Sorry.
Damn it.
she's
You're
like, I
gonna
had to get
laugh,
it out
damn
there.
You're gonna laugh.
She's like, if you don't laugh, I'll find you.
It's on site.
I'm sorry. The Rona just makes me sound even more gross and whatnot. I
Ready to
apologize.
fight.
Yeah.
Oh man. But yeah. With that in mind, please laugh to our episode. Please laugh to our episodes, or else we'll find you.
Oh my goodness.
Oh my god.
Anyways, I hope you guys have a great rest of your week. With that, we're going to end the episode here. 20 minutes over our ending time. So there's a 20-minute extra for you guys. So yeah. Catch you guys on the next one.
Powerpuffs out.